Welcome to the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, episode number 78. Film school is way too expensive. You can learn the essentials of filmmaking on your own in 2 weeks. Werner Herzog.
Broadcasting from the back alley in Hollywood, it's the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, where we show you how to survive and thrive as an indie filmmaker in the jungles of the film biz. And here's your host, Alex Ferrari.
Welcome, my indie film hustlers, to another episode of the Indie Film Hustle Podcast. I am your humble host, Alex Ferrari. So, guys, I wanted to give you an update on This Is Meg. We are actively going to start shooting in a little bit, some little test shots and stuff like that. And we just finished doing our poster shoot, which is going to be, I'll be releasing that as soon as the poster is done by our great and powerful Dan Cregan, who was on episode 6 of the podcast, indiefilmhustle.com/006. And we're getting our crowdfunding video being shot next week. So we're going to give you guys updates on that and more news coming soon about the Indie Film Hustle membership site that's going to be showing you not only this entire process of us making the movie on a micro budget, low budget, but also a ton of, probably about 20 to 40 hours of course materials, online courses, ebooks, things like that you can download to help you down the journey. And I'll be adding more and more things as the months go on. So it's always growing, always coming up. So if you want to sign up for that and get early access pricing, head over to indiefilmhustle.com/full access. Now today is, it's going to be somewhat of a somber podcast as well as a uplifting one. I recently had a good friend of mine pass. His name was Allan Wertheim. You might have never heard of Allan. He was in the business for probably around 40 years or so. And Allan and I met about 17 years ago working on an extremely difficult project I was working on as a director. I was very young, and Allan took me under his wing and really taught me a lot about the process. Now, Allan was a first assistant director and a unit production manager on many huge movies, but he was kind enough to really just guide me and mentor me through a very difficult time in my life as a filmmaker. And we became good friends and stayed close for many years afterwards. Last time I saw him was a little while ago, but I spoke to him probably a few months ago. And I wanted to have him on the show, but it just never worked out. And it was something that I wish I would have pushed harder, because I think he would have been a wealth of information for the tribe. But some of the projects he worked on, so you understand the caliber of a professional he was the first assistant director to Martin Scorsese in Raging Bull. He worked as the unit production manager on Seven with David Fincher. He worked on Saturday Night Fever, where he told me the story that they gave him the soundtrack for Saturday Night Fever back in the day. And when he played it, he's like, oh, this is crap. This is never going to go anywhere. And it turned out to be one of the best-selling soundtracks of all time. Allan had just stories upon stories upon stories. They used his car, his classic car, in the classic blockbuster of 1970, Love Story, which is, if you guys haven't heard about that movie, definitely check it out. It was the blockbuster of its time. It was a phenomenon, and he worked on that as well. He worked on 80s classics like About Last Night and 90s classics like Reality Bites with Ben Stiller and his first directorial debut. And he has told me so many stories about all of these people that he worked with over the years, from Marty to David. And it was an absolute honor to know him. And I'm going to leave links to all of his information, so you guys can, his IMDb and things, so you can kind of see what he did. Now, the reason I bring him up is not only to, pay homage to a great artist and a great man for what he did, but I wanted to kind of touch upon the theme of doing what you love. And, what Allan did, he worked for 40 odd years. He's a member of the DGA. He did what he loved. He raised a wonderful family, had a wonderful wife, had a a great family that he put together, and he loved what he did. He absolutely loved what he did, and he did it every day. And he raised a wonderful family who loved him and adored him. And that is really as much as anyone can ask for, really. To do what you love every day, to have a roof over your head, to be content with life, and to be happy. And his passing was very sudden and quick, and it shocked everybody that knew him. And I just really wanted to bring to everyone's attention about not only what a great person he was, but to show you an example of someone who, played it to the fullest. He retired early, he traveled the world, he, wanted to spend time with his family, and he did. He worked his ass off in the film business and worked with some amazing and legendary people along his journey as a filmmaker and as a assistant director and as a UPM. And I just wanted everyone to kind of think about that for a bit and just, don't leave with the music in you. It is something that Allan definitely did not. He had played his music. I still think he had a lot more music to play, but he played it all the way to the end. And that's the advice I give all of you, is to don't let things stop you. Don't let fears slow you down. You've got to just keep doing it. Do it at whatever level you can, but just do it. And just don't let anything stop you, because the worst thing you can do is wake up tomorrow morning and you're going to be 70 and all you're going to be full of is regrets. I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. When you should be waking up tomorrow and it's the first day. I know this is a cliche, but it's the first day of the rest of your life, and you have no regrets. You can look yourself in the mirror and say, I did everything I could. I left it all out on the mat, on the field. I gave it my all. And that's all you can do. And don't try to compete with anybody else. The only person at the end of the day you're competing with is yourself. Okay? So please go out and do whatever it is you want to do. If you want to write, write. If you want to direct, direct. If you want to open up a bakery, open up a bakery. But I'm assuming that you guys are into filmmaking since you're listening to this podcast. So whatever it is, just go do it, guys. Don't let fear or anything else stop you from whatever your dream might be. My friend Allan did not do that. And I hope his story inspires you to go out and just do what you want to do and don't regret anything. And if you fail, you fail. It's part of the process, guys. And you only grow when you fail. You don't grow when you succeed. You grow when you fail. And that's all we can hope to do in life. I hope this episode brought some value to your life, and I hope it inspires you to go out and just do it. So this episode, we're going to end with keep that hustle going, keep that dream alive, and I will talk to you real soon.